Sometimes the situation wasn't worth the $50 or the $60 for the room, and then it would be like prostitution. And then why would I want to spend money for a whole day for something that will only be maybe an hour or two? Now I don't waste my money. That's when I discovered that they have hourly rooms, which was $15 for 1 hour and $30 for two back then. And I said to myself, oh my gosh, they got stuff by the hour? So it must be designed just for that. And last one. Have you ever been in a situation where you found true love, he or she was everything you thought of, and then you came to realize that you were both related?
What? Oh, God. What the hell? Jesus Christ,
well, that's
man.
An interesting one. Now, that didn't happen to me, but it happened to a relative that I know.
Right, sick.
I'm not going to say their names, but I'll make up some names. Jack and Jill was talking to each other. They met at the Fudgery downtown. Not the Fudgery, Cheesecake Factory downtown. I was working at the Fudgery. I've always heard. Oh, and I had another cousin that was working down there too. He's much, much older than I am. How you get all these cousins? When your grandmother's sister is your aunt or your great aunt, and all of your great aunt's children and grandchildren are all cousins. So that entire side of the family, all of them were cousins. Even if a cousin had a child, that child is a cousin. They have numbers on them, like first cousin, second cousin, twice removed, and all that stuff. But I don't get into all that. I just say cousin. Now, like I said, my cousin had 8 children, and one of them was working at the Discovery Channel store doing security. So the other 2 cousins didn't know that they worked so close to the Fudgery, because the Cheesecake Factory was basically the next pavilion over. So anyway, they fell in love, him and this girl, Jack and Jill, fell in love, and they decided they want to tell their parents. So one day goes to his grandmother and says, oh, I want you to meet Jill. I'm in love. Well, he didn't say that yet. He said, I'm in love with somebody, and I want y'all to meet somebody and tell me what you think. So I'm sure they was already kissing and making out and having sex, and they had already made plans to get married so they can have a baby. And they came to the grandmother, and she said, don't you look familiar? Ain't your daddy Willie Neal? Ain't you Willie Neal's daughter? She said, yes, ma'am. How do you know? Eartha, come in here, little Willie Neal's daughter. So Eartha was probably the aunt or the mother, and she would come over, yeah, that's Willie Neal's daughter. And what y'all talking about? Y'all in love. That's your cousin. Can't be no love with your cousin. That's why y'all supposed to get to know your people. And I've been saying the same thing. You don't have no family reunion. Everybody popping a baby. You don't keep in touch. You don't know who. I'm not I don't want to say that. I might have messed up and don't know it. But that's that. And I never heard anything of it after that. So to my understanding, they broke it off. But I don't think so. Because if you're that serious, we done made arrangements and got a wedding ring, I would have to leave something like that to Green.
Huh?
I would have to leave thoughts like that to Green. You know, if you found out that your wife was your cousin, would you still have married her?
Oh God. No.
Yes, you would. Ain't no way in the world you gonna say no with all that love and affection.
But sometimes.
But it's not your fault because you didn't know ahead of time. You didn't know until after your feelings got involved. So I can understand. And do I think that's incest? No, I don't. It depends on your distance in the family. Now, if you first and second cousins, yeah, that's nasty. But third, fourth, and fifth, and all that, according to scriptures, that's allowable. But some people still say, "Oh, no, that's your people's." You know, Jews do it every day. Elvis did it. He married a cousin, and Jerry Lee Lewis, he married a cousin. That senator, she married a cousin. I can't think of her name right now. She had a TV show. Patty Duke. Senator Patty Duke, she married a cousin. And who would have thought that the little girl Patty Duke would become a U.S. citizen? Oh, well. Goes to tell you about Hollywood. Or Hollyweird. All right. So we finished with that one. That's inappropriate. I can pretty much tell you we finished with that one. What's on your mind? All right. There is now, without a shadow of a doubt, as of today at noon, there is now evidence that Trump was robbed of the election. However, the media is saying, although we found these discrepancies, it's still not enough to change the balance of the votes. So it's just like if I was playing poker and you said you got 9 books and I got 5 books. I know for certain I got 5 books. And you saying you got 9 books. 9 plus 5 is 14. There's no way to have 14 books. There's only 13 books in the deck. Then you go back and you shuffle them around and you say, okay, well, instead of 9 books, but the 8 still beats your 5, I still win. It don't matter. You lied when you said you had the 9. Like my hand was short or something. I don't know what I'm dealing with. So it's all about the principle of the matter. And people don't want to honor the principle. So there's cases where the ballots had not been signed and the ballots asked for your name, address, and telephone number. The election judges would make the phone call. Aaron Green, we got your ballot here. You didn't sign the bottom. Well, we'll go ahead and sign it for you, okay? And you say, okay, and they'll go ahead and sign it for you and count the vote. You can't do that. So when they called them on that, they said, oh, well, we don't know how many we signed and how many we did. It's all mixed them together. So we can't go back now and change it. And I was like pissed off. If something was that important to you, so you got to look at it from this perspective. And I can guarantee the hypocrites will speak up. If the election was going the other way and Biden said he wants to recount the votes just like Trump is doing, when nobody said shit. They would say, okay, let him do it. He got 23 days to come to the resolution and then concede. They wouldn't say shit. And you know they wouldn't have. But because it's the other way around, they got a problem with it. Oh, just give up already. Oh, just give up. Oh, just give up. Oh. See, they did it all the way around. But I didn't say nothing. I said, let me keep my eye on what's going on so I can see what's going on. They did the same thing here in Baltimore. That's how I know the president is telling the truth. The same voting machines that they used for the election for the president were the same voting machines we used here for the mayor. The same software that flips the votes in the directions that you want the votes to go. There's no way in the almighty hell that Brandon Scott won the mayor votes almost unanimously, because we don't have those many people in the city. So you fail to realize 320-something people die every year. So there's no way, there's a lot of dead people that voted for him too. There's no way the number of votes that he has received exceeds the population of Baltimore City. See, when you put astronomical numbers up, you got to do your math, you got to do your homework, and make sure you do your census to make sure you're not coming up off the top of your ass with these fake numbers. If there's only 185,000 citizens in the city, how could you possibly have 200 and something thousand votes? I'm just giving you an example. The number of votes exceeds the population of the city. The county can't vote for mayor. The state can't vote for mayor. Where did all these people come from? Are they non-legal residents or whatever? Are they non-registered people with a visa? College students on a visa? Possibly. And if that's the case, they cannot vote because you're not registered here. You're not a resident of the city. You are a resident of the state. Sure, you're not a resident of the city. You don't live here. The visa gives you temporary status for school. When they shut the school down, you will go back to Africa or go back to China or go back to Canada or wherever you came from. Can't stay here. A lot of people saying, I'll stay with my friends until school opens up. No. The same thing you do on spring break is the same thing you do when they shut down school. If the school is doing virtual, you can go to Canada or go back home. You got internet there and do your schooling from there. But they're not enforcing the visa. That's Donald Trump's thing. They're going to let the people slide that visa. And then when the visas expire, they're going to let that slide too. Because they're going to say because of the COVID, we're not renewing your licenses and we're not going to worry about the expirations. We're going to give you some time to renew them after whatever. Then when the normalcy comes in April or whatever they claim, it'll be too late. You ain't learned nothing. Are you still paying tuition while schools are closed? No? Well, then the visa is no good. Can't have it both ways. Can't stay here for free. You're either paying rent or you're paying tuition. And you can't pay your rent because you don't have an R1. You have a V1. You are a visitor. You need to go back and reapply for a worker's visa so you can work here. You go on a student visa. So you come to learn here. And for America to be so terrible, you want to come here for our education? What's wrong with yours? So am I upset about it? No. Do I expect anything better? No. Am I expecting anything to change? No. Am I fearful for the country? Sure. See, when I die, I want to die on the side of righteousness. When God says it's okay to come on home. I don't want to die because of the foolishness